Welcome to the 49th episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I am Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
And I'm Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
And it's just the two of us. We don't have a guest today.
Guest today, yeah.
That was a little surprising for us. We've been on the guest train for a little while. So I do want to remind the listener that you can find us on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on local channel 17. And don't forget, you can email us, mayor@pueblo.us, if you have a question or topic suggestion. We would love to hear from you. Mayor, last night we had city council. It was a long meeting, but not a late night.
Nice.
Because we have the new format, so I was very excited about that. But there were a couple of important topics and ordinances passed last night. One thing in particular was we welcomed our new HR director, Bella Trujillo. So that was exciting. And then also we received a grant from the Pueblo Urban Renewal Authority for lighting at Benedict Park. Yep. Stephen Meyer, our Parks Director, said that will be kind of an ongoing project through the summer, and then we'll start to see work maybe in the fall. So I would anticipate that we see a project completion probably early next year, maybe?
Probably for the lights.
Okay.
But the rest of the park is going to be a little more elaborate.
I know there's going to be path upgrades as far as like concrete pathway around the park. They're going to have some fencing. They'll have new equipment, benches, and then, like was approved last night, the lighting for the park as well. So I know that the Bojan Foundation has been working on that, a big community group who has put a lot of effort into this. So exciting to receive that grant and see some community investment. Kind of adjacent to our Building Back Bessemer area, so, or I would say maybe included in the Building Back Bessemer area,
right over the bridge.
Yeah, so that will be exciting. Also, we had 2 contracts approved. One for the health department, which is our contractual obligation that we have with Pueblo County as well, and then HSPPR.
Yep.
And that was just follow-up from the budget approval from the fall, correct?
Yeah, so those are yearly contracts that have to be approved 3 ways. So between us, the county, and then the entity for both of those. So we had to wait to see what the county funding was going to be before we put it in the contract.
Understood. Okay, great. Finally, I think the biggest topic of the night, it was also the last ordinance on the agenda, was the update to the criteria ordinance for the half-cent sales tax. This is the third time that we saw this come forward to City Council, but it passed 5-2. So I thought we could maybe talk a little bit about that.
Exciting. It's a new day here in Pueblo, Colorado.
It is.
Big thanks to the City Council members who share the same vision, as President Aliff would say, about trying to bring different types of economic development into the community and not just primary jobs.
Sure.
We know primary jobs are a huge part of it, but we have $64 million sitting in the bank.
Okay.
And we think that we can use some of that money to incentivize other businesses who are going to be sales tax drivers, economic catalysts, economic leakage, and placemaking. So maybe small businesses, healthcare, like Councilor Dante spoke about last night, vet services, those types of things will now fall and be able to be incentivized through the City of Pueblo.
And I think one thing in particular that is important to note is that there was clarification that this doesn't take away from the city's effort to incentivize primary jobs.
Right.
Those are important. It's just an additional tool.
Sure.
And an expansion of the criteria. Is that maybe the correct term?
It's been expanded 3 other times.
Sure.
One for the RTA, so that's how
Which gave us the convention center.
Convention center
the
and the
Riverwalk.
boathouse.
Yeah.
One's for the COVID loans.
Sure.
The city took $5 million out of the half-cent sales tax. That was repaid to give grants and loans during COVID. And then they also did, in addition, to add $800 per primary job for training if needed.
Training.
So those were 3 amendments that have been made probably over the last 10 years.
Sure.
So this is just another amendment to the criteria.
Great.
Which city council has the sole authority to do.
I think that was another really important point that was clarified last night, is that some folks are confused about who has authority over the half-cent sales tax, who does it belong to.
Yeah.
It belongs to us,
Sure.
the voters. And when I say us, I don't mean us as in you and I.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that was a misconception, was that suddenly this money was going to belong to you as the mayor, or that this 15% would then be your discretionary pot of money that you could allocate. It's my understanding that you don't have any money
Zero.
that you can just allocate.
Spend. Yeah, everything has to be approved by
It all goes through
my
city
7
council.
bosses. Yeah.
Okay. So
Every dollar.
you don't have any special funds.
Discretionary,
You have
no.
no discretionary funds. I know you have the mayor's contingency, but that's approved in the budget by city council prior to you spending it.
Yeah, and that has to be used for nonprofit work if we get invited to an event, or I think city council has used my contingency more than I have.
Sure. I know there's been times.
We'll do 2,500 if the mayor will do 2,500.
Yeah, they volunteer your contingency
out of the
too.
contingency, so it's all the same. But
Which is good.
Yeah.
I think that investment is good. There's been times where it's for special events or
social events,
community
or
events. So those are
used it to bring the warthog.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah.
We used it for the warthog. We've used it for the hot air balloon fest, for Chili Fest. So
sometimes it's like a match
significant
to whatever city council is giving.
Great. So you don't have authority over this funding. City council has authority over the funding. They've always had authority over the funding.
Yeah, not Petco. I heard that a lot last night. And
I did too.
I know people are confused because Petco was the city's
economic arm.
Yeah. And you hear, the Petco money, but quite frankly, it's not the Petco money. It's the city's money.
And there were some folks that spoke up and said that they understood it wasn't Petco money, and then there were other folks that
kept calling it Petco
were
money.
confused about it.
Yeah.
I also saw a lot of confusion yesterday. You posted on your Facebook page, and so folks were very confused that this was a new tax, or that the taxes were being raised. And so there was some clarification that the half-cent sales tax was approved by voters, again, to be extended in November of 2025. That was set to expire after this year in 2026. So it extends 5 years beginning in 2027.
Correct.
So there is no new tax, correct? Okay.
No new tax.
Great.
Existing tax.
Great. And I know we've talked about this here on the podcast. We do have some new listeners and some new followers, so I know it sounds like we're beating a dead horse for our folks who have listened to us from the very beginning, but can you talk a little bit about the 3 expanded criteria as far as placemaking, economic catalyst, and economic leakage? What does that mean?
So economic leakage is when we talk about people within the community who are taking their money elsewhere. So whether you're going to Colorado Springs to go shop at Trader Joe's or Costco because you find that you can't get those goods and services in our community. So we would be able to attract businesses like that to come here, and we wouldn't necessarily be giving Costco $5 million check. We might be buying a piece of land, subdividing it for them, doing something that allows them speed to market to move into the community faster than they could somewhere else. Placemaking is going to be some kind of a amenity where people stay in the community or move to the community because you have this amenity. It could be something like the Riverwalk. It could be something like Jellystone. We have the developers from Jellystone looking at putting one of those parks here in Pueblo. With the way the criteria was written before, we would never be able to incentivize that kind of a package because it's not primary jobs. It's more tourism oriented. And then the last one is economic catalysts, so large sales tax drivers. So we know Starbucks and McDonald's and fast food restaurants are high sales tax drivers here in our community. And so instead of the city, again, giving Starbucks $1 million, we might look at some kind of investment into infrastructure within the property around them. So the Starbucks that's been sitting on the boulevard that was ready to open the day after Thanksgiving, it's still closed. They're waiting to install a traffic signal across the boulevard at Mirror right there, which is going to be about $2.5 million. So they're on the hook for that now. So this original idea for this ordinance came when we knew that there was going to be several businesses coming on the boulevard, and how could the city expedite that process to bring these businesses here when it comes to infrastructure requirements by CDOT. And so it was my proposal that we put the infrastructure in and then enter in development agreements with these developers, paid back over an amount of time. You would pay the half-cent sales tax, but the city would be putting in the infrastructure. You would all get to open. Not one developer would be on the hook for all of the money, and we'd start to see some new businesses go up, sales tax increase in the area, right? But unfortunately, the previous city council did not agree that that was a way. I keep hearing you're trying to incentivize retail jobs. What we're trying to do is grow our tax base. So whatever we have to do, a job is a job. And we want people to spend money in our community. We want to keep the money in our community. We want to grow the tax revenue that's being spent in our community. So you have to look at different avenues than just primary jobs. The primary job attraction was great 20 years ago, but we heard two different counselors last night, Councilman Hernandez and President Aliff, talk about the city's population, only growing 8,000 people in the last 20 years. So you have to ask yourselves, what were the primary jobs doing? Where were these families? Why wasn't our growth much more than just 8,000? And I think a lot of it has to do with the primary employers that we have. As soon as one opens, they offer bonuses, and you see these same manufacturers go from Train to CS Winds to Evraz, and whoever's offering the higher pay at that time, that's where these people are gonna go.
It's mixed from within the community. There's not a lot of folks from outside the community.
How could there be if your population's only grown 8,000, and we've incentivized big corporations like Train, Evraz, CS Winds. We're not saying new people move here. Our population is just plateauing. So I don't know how they explain that with the primary job theory.
Okay. I think one thing that was really important that you just mentioned was folks have really been against this retail job incentive. However, you talked about specifically what's on the boulevard. We would enter into an agreement so that incentive would actually get paid back to the half-cent sales tax?
I mean, city council could decide that 50% of the investment is coming from the city, 50% is going to come from you. So
got it.
Over the next 10 years, you're going to pay the city back the $2 million.
Sure.
Or 50% of that money. However, city council sees best to incentivize development.
Okay. So there can be some stipulations of how those incentives are dispersed, or how it potentially pays back the half-cent sales tax fund. Because I think that's another sticking point for a lot of folks is we don't want to just spend all this money all at once, which I think maybe you agree with as well.
That's why there's a cap.
Right. And so that 15% then allows us to still have the rest of the fund to incentivize primary jobs and ensure that we are not just emptying the half-cent sales tax fund all at once.
Yeah, since I've been the mayor, we've used the half-cent sales tax 2 different times.
Okay.
So one time was for the boathouse. Mm-hmm. We took $3 million out, and then one time was recently for the airport renovation.
Got it.
So that was about $7 million in total. So we have $64 million of unencumbered in there as of yesterday. Mm-hmm. We would be sitting well above $70 million if we wouldn't have done those 2 projects, which are going to be 2 great assets to the community, 2 new amenities that would have never got done without being able to use the half-cent sales tax.
Sure. Okay, great. Anything else that you think you want to clarify about the criteria ordinance, or anything else you want to say about what it looks like potentially moving forward?
No, I'm just super thankful that City Council shares the same vision that I do, and they want to work together and try to bring new ideas to the community. I like their ideas, and I'm here to help them get those types of projects done.
Great. Okay. Couple of upcoming events, or at least one on the horizon. Tomorrow, Wednesday, February 25th, is the public transit open house at Barkman Library in the community room from 5:30 to 7. You can come to the open house and ask your zero emissions questions about the new hybrid buses. We also have a plan for a new bus facility in the future, and so talking about those plans and our fleet upgrades for public transit. We also have the City Council work retreat on Saturday. That's from 8 to 3 at the Public Convention Center. And that will be live streamed on the city's Facebook page and available for folks to attend in person if they would like to as well. Anything else I'm missing, Mayor?
I don't think so.
Not today?
Not today. I get to do something cool today.
Oh, tell us.
Yeah, I'm going to go out to the fire tower.
Oh, cool. The training facility?
Yeah, with the fire department and City Council.
Great.
That's where I'm headed next.
That's a really cool location.
Yeah, see what they do out there, try to lift a fire hose.
Those are heavy, so good luck. Yeah. Also, don't let them convince you that you should climb up the ladder truck, okay? Okay. I know there's a harness, but don't do it. Okay. Leave it to the professionals. Yeah. All right. Okay. Just for my own peace of mind.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. I'd like to invite our listeners to email us with questions or topic suggestions, mayor@pueblo.us, and you can find us on Buzzsprout, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week for episode 50.